Welcome to the game room. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're trying something different here. I have a different camera set up and hopefully be able to switch back and forth and do a little less voiceover and a little more live. Let me just do it and do it once. So bear with me. Let me know what you think about this. Picture in picture. We'll try to have some fun with this, but let's see how it goes. If you watched the last video, we did some trees, and I want to go through that process again. I have one more base and a few more trees that I want to build. And I thought I would just take you through the whole process a little slower so that you can kind of see here's what I'm doing, but it's really simple. But anyway, let me switch cameras here. Now, this is what we're going to come up with, something like this. What I'm going to do, here's my base. I don't know what I want to do with this entirely yet, but do I want to put the trail on it, just make it all green? Don't know. But when you put your trees on, you don't have to. I'm doing a forest area. I don't have to fill this up with trees. I mean, unless you want to say it's a forest area, because how do you move models through that? You know, a couple of trees on a base says, hey, this whole area is forest. You want to be able to move your models through there, get to them. She needs to move a couple inches here. The killer needs to be able to move to get to them. So this whole thing is, I'm doing these mainly for don't look back, so you can kind of get an idea of, what I need. But a few trees on the base says, hey, this is a forest area, and if you're within 2 inches of it, you take a fright check, or however you're playing with it. If you're playing Kings of War or something like that, or Vanguard, hey, it's a forest area that you don't have to have a whole ton of trees on. And depending on how you want to do it, if you just glue the bases down, say if you're playing like Kings of War and you're doing bigger ones, if you don't glue the trees in, then if you need to move a base through it, just the fact that you have this base says it's a forest area. Okay, so I'm going to move this one out of the way, and let me go ahead and show you how I built these. So I started with my base. I found these at Dollar General, I believe, craft section. They're just wooden planks. Bought them a long time ago for a couple bucks each, maybe. I may have even found these at Dollar Tree. I'm not 100% sure, but they weren't expensive. I never knew what I was going to use them for, and I finally came up with an idea. But here we go. So that's what this started as. We cut the edges off. I used a sander, and we sanded the edges down, beveled them a little bit so that it's a little less of a, didn't quite sand this one down quite as much. So, but they're shallow, so it's not that big a deal. But I spray painted them all green, because if your flock ever starts to come off, you still have the green underneath it to protect it. You don't want green to show through in this bright white wood to show through, so that would just look bad. So paint it green, brown where I thought I might want the trees. So I'm gonna say, hey, if I did a tree here, maybe a tree here, maybe a tree here. Okay, does that give me enough room to move models through? Yeah, it does. And enough move to bigger base model. The killer, he can move through, so they're not glued down, so they're not going to stand. But to kind of get an idea of, hey, here's what I want, something like that. Let's try switching to the other camera, see how that one looks. So you can kind of get an idea of maybe this, and that. Maybe offset them a little bit. Whatever you think looks good. So the easiest way, here's how I do it. The easiest way for me, like I said, I am not a professional. I just do this as a hobby, and I am not a great hobby person. So so I'm trying to pass on to you, because hopefully you'll learn from. You'll become a better hobby person than I am. Super glue. That's all I use, just to stick these down. It's nothing exciting. Put a little glue on the bottom. Not too much. You don't want it squirting out all over the place. Now put it down where you think you're going to want it. Now what you don't want is you don't want it squeezing out through the sides, because when you brush on your other glue to put the flock down, you don't want to get that super glue on your brush, because it will instantly destroy your brush. And that comes from experience, because I've done it more than once. Okay, so we're going to super glue those down, press them down hard so that they stay. I'm going to take a paper towel. Got a little bit coming out the side here, so I just want to make sure I wipe that off. And alright, so now we kind of need to make a decision. Do I want to do a trail through here? That's where the two big trees are going to be. What the heck, let's do a trail. Why not? We've done a bunch of others. So what I have here is PVA glue, or not PVA, it's a wood glue. I got this at Lowe's. It's like, I don't know, $6, $8, $10, something like that. I bought it so long ago, and I'm over halfway through it, and I bought it literally a long time ago, so I have no idea how long it's been. But let me swap different camera. I don't know if that's going to give you a better angle or not. But anyway, it's just wood glue, and added a little bit of water, mixed it up. So I'm going to lay out my path first for where I'm going to put my sand. So let's go ahead and go like from here, and we're going to go, to there. Fair enough? Let's do that. Okay, so I don't need a ton of glue. You just need enough to get the sand to stick. And this wood glue does a good job. It doesn't have to be perfect. Get it on the edge down here. Don't get it on the bottom. Putting sand on the bottom there. We'll put it on the edge here. And maybe we'll even do like a rough path this way. Off the beaten path. We'll do an off the beaten path out here. Okay. Sand, literally. That's all this is. It's just sand. Gotta have a playground, I think. And to make this work, I'm just gonna, you don't have to dip it or anything, maybe the edge there just to get the edges, so I don't have to make a huge mess. And just gonna let the sand fall. Okay, make sure to keep the bottom smooth, so if any of it gets off on the bottom. And sand part is done. Move that out of the way. Okay, so the next part we want to do with some flock. So I'm going to move that for just a second. Let me show you what the actual flock is. This is just it's not really even a static grass. It's more like a like train, like the old train mats. If you did anything with hoe scale trains, end scale trains, they had a grass, and that's what this is. The leaves I got out of another kit, and they weren't even labeled. It was just a bag of leaves. And then there's the white stuff you see in here. It's just some ballast, the train ballast. They're just little gray rocks. I just threw some in just to kind of break it up. So this is what we're going to use. This is what I used on the other base. And I'll show you how I did that, because having it in a bag like this actually made it really easy to do a base this size without making a huge mess. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. I'm going to move those guys out of the way. Move that. I'm going to go ahead and move those out of the way. Okay, so we're going to start with the smaller part here. Now with the glue, Want to get it around the base of the tree, about our tree stump here. You can go up as high as you want. I don't. I just like a little bit of it showing, just like if it was out in the woods, you'd have, grass and stuff growing up to the tree. In the deep woods, you'd probably have more dirt and stuff. But I'm just trying to keep it simple and easy and get them on the table so that I can play, some more Don't Look Back with more trees. So anyway, this is the process that I used. Feel free to do whatever you want to your trees. There's no right way, wrong way to do it. You just do it. However, I'm just trying to show you what I did because I've seen people do these perfect trees and stuff, or these lifelike trees, and I'm like, I don't want to put that much time into it. I just want some trees that I got off of Amazon, and I want to make them look cool so I can play with them. And I'm not doing a train set where I want it to look ultra realistic. If you want ultra realistic, go for it. It's all about that. If that's what you want. For me, I just want something on the table. So around my little off the beaten path trail here, I've got to mix in just some little dabs here and there to kind of break up that trail and get it on the edge there. Now when you get up to the sand part, I like to dab right into the edge just to gives it a little cleaner flow into it, because remember, it's a path, so paths aren't going to be perfect unless you want a manicured path. If it's a manicured path, then make your perfect edges. But this is supposed to be out in a cabin in the woods, and there's a murderer running around killing off all your teenagers. So all right, we'll do that for now. Now in my bag here, I'm going to open this up. And like I said, having this bag really worked out well. I'm just going to stick this in, shove it under there, press it down a little bit, make sure it gets there, knock off the excess, and voila. Ooh, got a lot of leaves right in that one spot. You see that well? Alright. So now we'll just do the other sections. And again, let me put that down. Just going to jab this into those little areas. And this kind of came off, which is actually kind of cool. So it looked like it's an overgrowth onto the trail there. We'll take it and run with it. Now, these, honestly, the ones that I've done for these videos are actually the first trees that I've ever done. So, actually, that's not true. I did some for Battletech, but they were like really small. I used washers for weight, and they were smaller trees. I was actually hoping that there would be larger trees, but they ended up being really small, so they were kind of perfect for Battletech size. The whole 10mm scale. So they worked out. We used them. We did a Gen Con at home thing, and if you look at some of my Battletech videos, some of the pictures and stuff, I think you'll see where we had those in there. If not, maybe I need to post them. I need to do some more Battletech too, because that is a fun game. I like Alpha Strike more than the regular Battletech, just because I like having a lot of robots out there, a lot of mechs, not robots, a lot of mechs out there, and I like the Alpha Strike idea of. Okay, so next section, same thing. All right, section 2 done. Yeah, not too bad. All right, last section is getting a little more difficult to find a place to hold, but try not to Try not to touch where you've, just because this stuff does take a little bit to dry. But me being, if you've watched the painting videos, you know I'm impatient and want to get it done. So I do tend to pay for that later sometimes. But I think we'll make this work. Do that like so. Blend that in a little bit. All right. For our last piece, add it into the bag. Lots of these stuff on there. All right, and there we go. That is our base done. And make sure I don't have anything over here that's going to cause a problem for it to sit flat. There we go. All right, now we are going to have to let that dry before we try to stick these in, because that super glue, while it is starting to adhere, it is not 100% dry, and so we're going to leave this alone. But you get the idea. I mean, with that simple bit, your base is done. Yep, still great. And now you got to do is, once this is completely dry, I'd let it dry overnight just so that it would completely adhere to the, you know, your wood glue completely dries, the whole thing completely dries. But you know, tomorrow you can put your trees back into it and, you know, be done. So that's it. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop this video now, and then tomorrow, once this is dry, I'll start the video back up. You won't have to wait. It'll be a click for you, but it's overnight for me. We're gonna let this dry. We will put the trees in, and we'll see what the final thing looks like. So stay tuned, and we'll finish up tomorrow. All right, it is the next day. So everything's dried. Even my glue thing is all dried. Let's take a look at what these trees look like once you put them in the vases. And switch. So there you go. It's not hard. It's not difficult. I was really surprised at how easy it was to get, you know, good looking trees done easy that, you know, you can move the models through. Before we go, let's go put this on the table and see how it looks. All right, so now with the last scene that we finished, it just fits right in. Then you can just move the trees around however you want. But you can get an idea of how good you can make a table look with a little bit of effort. All right, so there you go. I hope it helped. I hope this encourages you to put some trees together. It really wasn't that difficult. The most expensive item, again, is the trees themselves. Like I said, the little wood things you can find at your, you know, dollar arts and crafts section, they're not that expensive. The flock you can put together. You know, Woodland Scenics puts a lot of those type of things together. Just mix a few together, whatever you want to do. Sand, playground. And you know, those don't really cost a whole lot. It's the trees that are going to cost. And if you can find cheap trees that are really nice, let me know. I would like to get some different kind of trees. All my trees look the same. I'd like to get some different ones just to mix it up. But again, I'm going for cheap and easy and to get it on the table. So I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And thanks. Have a good day.